Watch this, watch this. All of this came out of a process, right, that I thought wasn't working. Right? I thought it wasn't working, but now I look at the results of it and I'm going, it was working all along.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuned in to Jaja's Mic. It's a pleasure to have you. Home of the world's toughest leaders. Today, I'm excited. Today I got a special guest, one that God has divinely bumped me into. If you've been watching this show, you know my favorite spot is Starbucks. A guest speaker by the name of Wendell. He wants to speak to you about enjoying the process. This video on the Leadership Diamond is really about ethics here, okay? I want you to tune in to the end for the Leadership Challenge. Without further ado, I introduce you to Wendell.
Hey, good afternoon, guys. My name's Wendell Stovall. I'm by trade, I'm a personal trainer. By calling, I'm also a pastor of a church. I've been doing both of these activities for 12 to 15 years. 15 years as a preacher, as a pastor, about 12 years as a personal trainer. And so I just wanted to come and talk to you guys today just about one of the challenges that I see in the life of most people that have goals. Right, most goal-oriented people, one thing that I see that's a real struggle for them is process. Right, a lot of times, we get started on a project, or we have this big goal, whether it's a weight loss goal, whether it's a personal goal, a spiritual goal. But then, as all pursuits do, eventually you're going to run into some problems. Like eventually, you're going to hit some roadblocks. You're going to come to a point to where, man, this is just not working out like I thought it was, right? And so one of the things that I think that we sell ourselves short on is process, right? So I want to talk to you guys today just about falling in love with the process, right? Especially, like, I see this a lot as a personal trainer. People come to me all the time and they have a certain weight loss goal. As a matter of fact, I had a client this morning, right? 2 weeks into the process. She's 2 weeks in and she comes to me and she's almost in tears, right? Because, after 2 weeks of working out, the weight's not going down. As a matter of fact, the weight's going up, right? But listen, right? So she struggles. She's a type 1 diabetic, right? And so for a type 1 diabetic, it's really important that they learn how to manage their blood sugar, right, while they're going through the process of losing weight and exercising, and to see, like, what are the effects of exercise on my blood sugar, right? So she's going through the process. As a matter of fact, she's just started the process and she's hit a roadblock already. And she's ready to throw in the towel. And I'm like, babe, look, wait a minute, you're winning. Like, it's not overnight. It's a process. And as long as you're in the process, you're winning. Like, one of the things I talk to people about is really defining what's a win. Right? What's a win for you? A win for her is every day that you stay in process is a win. That's a win. Did I do what I was supposed to do today? Yes, I won. Right? Because the results are going to always be up and down, up and down. Look, things are never going to turn out perfectly like you have it pictured in your mind. Right? But if you fall in love with the process, you're going to end up at a place, I guarantee you're going to end up at a place that looks way that looks magnificently better than where you started, right? And then eventually you have to believe eventually that if I stick to the process, then eventually, right, I'm gonna get to this place that I'm trying to go, right? Whether that's weight loss, whether that's a weight loss goal, or even in your spiritual life, right? As a pastor, I get a lot of people, right? I talk to a lot of people that stumble and struggle, and they feel like that they're never going to achieve, that they're never going to be, like they're never going to be as strong a Christian as I am, not realizing, look, man, I've been doing this 30 years. I've been doing this way longer than you, and I've already been through that part of the process, right? We're always in process. And so understanding that even in our spiritual walk, right? Like there are going to be times when you get it good, right? There's going to be times when you're wondering, man, is this ever going to work out? Right? I've been through that even in my own life, both, especially in my personal life as a pastor, right? Because, honestly, like we don't mind the process for the things that we're good at, right? We don't mind the process for things that we like to do. You put me in the gym, this is my environment, right? I don't mind the process of lifting weights and working out. Most people want to just skip the process, get right to the results. But when it comes to, this environment, I love the process, right? But about, 10 years ago when I started really, probably more like 12 years ago when I started pastoring my church, you have these grand ideas, right, of what God's going to do with your ministry. And one of the worst things that we do when we're in process is compare ourselves to other people. Right? That's why the Bible says when you compare yourselves among yourselves, you are unwise. That's not smart, right? Because again, right, I'm comparing where I am, I'm comparing myself to another ministry when I'm this far in the process and they're this far in the process, right? So that's really an unfair comparison to me. And what it does and what it did to me is it set me up for a lot of disappointments, right? Because my ministry not moving as fast as somebody else's ministry. And it got me to the point to where it wasn't fun anymore, right? I didn't feel like I was winning, right? Because I wasn't making I had too many obstacles. Well, and I'm looking over here, well, they had this and they got started with this and, and for a long time, I was tormented, and I tease people all the time. I tell them, man, I used to quit every Sunday. Every Sunday, like, man, I'm not doing this anymore. This ain't working. But one of the turning points in how I approached ministry and how I looked at even my pastoral ministry was over the course of the years, right? I could look at the people that I started with, right? And I could see the growth in their life, right? I could see how at one point they lived this way. And after all of these years of just consistent teaching and even more consistently just loving on them, being a part of their life, living the example, actually showing that leadership, that eventually you slowly start to see them get stronger, get better. And so now I look at them and all of them, they're all married, right? They have, they're married, they're starting their families, they're strong, they're good, solid people, right? They're good, strong believers. They're not tossed back and forth, right? They're really good, solid people. Right? And so all of this came out of, watch this. All of this came out of a process, right, that I thought wasn't working. Right? I thought it wasn't working. But now I look at the results of it and I'm going, It was working all along. I could have saved myself tons of misery, tons of frustration, right? Had I just embraced the fact that this road, this is part of my process. Right? Because one of the things that we're so quick to do when we're in process, right, as soon as we come to an obstacle, is quit. Right? We want to quit, but that's the only way that you really can abort the process. And understanding the bad part about quitting, the bad part about how we face failure, right, is that not understanding, man, that failure equals growth. Right? So you never fail, right? You never fail. You either learn something or you win. Right? And you don't know, listen, you don't know how many times you need to fail at something before you hit success. Right? And so if we can approach our goals, if we can approach the things that we want to accomplish with our life with a childlike curiosity, right? That's why Jesus says, unless you come like little children, right, to humble yourselves and just realize that, man, any progress that you make, when you're making progress, it's really only by the grace of God, right? That He is empowering you, He's equipping you. But watch this, at the same time, He's teaching you and He's training you to be ready for that next phase. Right? And so one of the things that I really want to encourage you guys to do, and that I really try to encourage people to do, is fall in love with that process, right? To realize, to stop being in such a hurry to get to this next place that you miss taking advantage of the lessons and the blessings that you're supposed to receive in this place. Right? Don't be so quick to I got to get to the next one. I got to get to the next level. Everybody, it's 2018. It's the start of the new year, right? And everybody's leveling up, right? And it's sad because, in a sense, right? It's sad in a sense because did we really, most of the time, we're so busy trying to get to the next level, right, that we missed out. We didn't even maximize all the things that we could have learned, all the relationships we could have built at this level. Right? You're so busy trying to get to 2018 that you just blew over 2017. Right? And so for this year, even in my own personal life, how I'm approaching my goals for this year, right? Being an entrepreneur, having my own business as a personal trainer, I'm always trying to think of ways to grow my business. Right? And it's always about, marketing. How can I get more clients and get to the next thing? And should I go online or should I do this? And so God has been kind of dealing with me on this idea of taking growth, like slow down, right? And instead of trying to grow so much this way, right? Grow this way, right? To take the clients that I have and spend more quality time with them, right? To spend more time digging deeper into their lives to really help them get to the place to really figure out what is it, right? What is it that's really blocking you? What is it that's really standing in your way of achieving your goals, right? Because one thing I learned that their progress, it's not about what's happening in the gym, right? It's not the 3 hours a week that they spend in the gym, right? I have this saying that I teach my clients, there's 168 hours in a week. You spend 3 with me, right? So there's nothing we could do, right, in 3 hours a week that's gonna override what you do with the 165 hours a week. Right? And so where you really need my help is in the 165, right? Nobody fails to reach their fitness goals because of the 3, right? You're failing in the 165, right? Because somewhere in there, we're not embracing, because this is process, right? Process is over here, right? It's the things that we're doing outside the gym, right? That's either causing us to succeed or causing us to fail, right? And so, man, what I want to get people to do is just to really sit down. Like, so for myself, it's a matter of just slow down, right? And spend more time with this, right? Understanding that my life, my wealth, my prosperity, right? My impact it happens here. One-on-one, face-to-face, relationship after relationship after relationship, right? To teach and train myself that the only client I have is the next one in front of me. Right? Am I right? And so understanding that the richness of your life is not in things, right? But it's in people. It's all about relationships. And that if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in sales, or you're thinking about starting a business, understanding, man, that your people, the clients you have, right? My man Mike is a photographer, that you already know enough people that know enough people to build your business, right? And so not looking at the next person that you come in contact with as the next sale, right? It's really the next relationship, right? I don't want to just open up a new client, just start a new client on a program, right? I want to open up a new relationship. I want to build a new relationship. I have the grace to get to know a new person, right? And if I approach it with the passion, right, that I'm going to do everything in my power. I'm going to take all my knowledge, right, all of my experience. I've been in the gym. I'm 48 years old, man. I've been in the gym for over 30 years, since I was a teenager, right? And so I bring that much experience to each and every person. If I bring that much experience and that much knowledge and my passion for fitness and for seeing people just win in life, if I bring all of that passion to every single person that I work out with, that I train, that comes in contact with me, man, there's no telling where their life can go, right? And so I want to see you win, right? I want to see you win, because at the end of the day, you have to realize your life is supposed to work. It's designed to work, right? But there's a process. And so I just want to encourage you guys, look, fall in love with the process, right? Now I want to challenge you. You say, Wendell, how do you get to the place where you just embrace the process, right? I hate working out, right? So how do I get to the point to where I'm going to enjoy this process? I want to challenge you, no matter what your goals are. If it's to start a business, right? You might have an entrepreneurial vibe. I was talking to my nephew yesterday, and he really has this desire to go out and kind of do his own thing, right? And I'm like, man, look, you're not even 30 yet. You have, maybe 60 years to get out there and get in the game, right? So I want to challenge you guys to start a journal, right? And in your journal, what I want you to do really is to just track your progress, right? Start tracking your progress. At the end of the day, sit down, go over that day before you lay down, before cut social media. Find a point where you can cut social media off, right? And spend some time reflecting on yourself, reflecting on your goals, reflecting on your progress, and just write down, man, what is the one, what 2 or 3 things that I get done today that's leading me towards my goal, right? Example, if my goal is a fitness goal, if my goal is a fitness goal, at the end of the day, then I want to sit down and review my day, right? Did I drink my water today, right? Did I get all my meals done today? Did I get my food in today? Right? And at the end of the day, if all of those things are a win, then hey, I won that day. And it's just winning one day After the next day, we just want to win every day, right? And so from that list, there's always going to be, one or two things that maybe I didn't get to, one thing that I had on my list that I didn't accomplish that day, that's going to go on the next day, right? So I already know when I hit the floor running in the morning where my focus is for that day, right? My focus tomorrow, if I didn't get my water in today, then my focus tomorrow is I'm going to get my water in. I'm still going to hit these other marks. And I guarantee you that if you spend some time, right, just tracking your progress. If your goal is not important enough for you to track it, it's not important to you. Let's just be real. If it's not worth tracking, then it's really not that important to you, right? Because otherwise, if you're not tracking, you're just guessing, right? And nobody reaches success at anything guessing. Nobody is winging it, right? If you see somebody rocking a six-pack, they are not winging it, right? You see the guy that's driving the Maserati, living in the big house, running the he is not winging it. He's not waking up every day guessing, is he following the plan? Is he following his program? He's not winging it, right? And so understand that your path to success it's going to come by you really paying attention, right? And really tracking your progress. And I guarantee you, if you approach it that way, if you approach your goals by keeping track of them every single day, I'm going to challenge you, right? Don't come back and tell me it's not working. Don't reach out to me on social media and blow me up saying your idea, it's not working. And then when I say, let me see your progress chart, let me see your journal, let me see how you're tracking it, but you're not tracking it, right? You don't get to complain if you're not tracking it. All right? And so that's my challenge to you guys, is no matter what it is you're trying to accomplish, I guarantee you, if you got a plan, if you got a solid plan, just start tracking your progress at the end of the day. And what it's going to do, over time, you'll start to see the progress that you're making, which is going to reinforce, right, the idea that, man, I'm going to get there, right? And so that positive reinforcement, it feeds your confidence, it feeds your faith, right? And so you know that, man, if I just keep following this process, then I'm going to get to, and then it doesn't even become about the end result, right? It becomes more about, I'm winning this process, right? Because I think that at the end of the day, as long as we're making progress towards our goals, we'll be happy, right? It's really not ever about the end. It's never about the result, right? It's always about the process, right? So that's my thoughts for you guys on today. My challenge for you, I really want to see just you guys, win. I just really have a passion for people not being afraid to follow their passions, to jump out there. Look, man, you got a lot of time left on the clock. I'm 48 years old and I feel like I'm just getting started, So you guys be blessed. I hope this helps you. Hope to talk to you again soon. Be blessed. Say good, man.
You went in.
Was that good?
Nah, when I knew you were going to go in. We said 15. We went like, I think 20, 22 minutes.
Oh, really?